Welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about the second strategy for teaching cooperation, the finish box. This is often combined with the first strategy of foreshadowing. It's amazing how well children can cope with a visual tool that communicates a rule. Now, this is a finish box. Nothing very complicated about it, just a box, any box, with the words finish box or an X on the outside. The purpose of this is to help a child cope with the removal of an item and to understand that when the item is in the finish box, then he or she cannot have access to it. This is particularly helpful when it comes to devices, but also items that children on the spectrum may tend to really stim on. Now here's an example of what using the finish box looks like.
Okay, buddy, it's almost time to clean up. 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, time a beep. Let's clean up. Good listening. Clean up. Well done.
The finish box can also be used when a child throws an item or is demonstrating an upset behavior with the item. Mom and dad or the therapist could just say all done, finished, and keep the item away immediately in the finish box and out of the child's reach.
Okay, all done, finished. Pop quiz. Is the finish box a preventive or reactive strategy when it comes to managing challenging behaviors? Preventive, reactive, or both? If you answered C, both, you're absolutely right. The finish box is preventive because it serves as a visual cue to a child that things are coming to an end and prepares them for that. It is also reactive because if a child is playing inappropriately with a toy or demonstrating an upset behavior with it, the natural consequence is to keep the toy away in the finish box.
Now you might be out and about in the community and do not have access to a finish box. The long-term idea is for your child to understand the concept of finished or all done. So this strategy should generalize to a much more natural setting, where you could just keep the item away in natural places like your bag, the stroller, or the car. Now you may be wondering, why even use a finish box? Why not just take the item away? Isn't that easier and more convenient than having a special box for cleaning up? Well, the finish box serves as a visual, and it is easier and more neutral for children to see the box as the natural end of the activity than their parents becoming the bad guys taking their preferred toys away. This concept also applies to other strategies such as the timer and visuals. Now it's your turn. Try constructing a finish box of your own at home. It could literally be a spare plastic container you have lying around. Make sure it's big enough to hold most of your child's toys. You can start by labeling it finish box or putting a red X on it. Then begin combining the skill of foreshadowing you've learned with the finish box. Your child may find it hard to cooperate at first as it's a new concept, but with consistent practice, they can eventually learn the box is the natural ending. So that's it for our second lesson on teaching cooperation. First, we learned about foreshadowing, then the finish box. In the next lesson, we will learn about the strategy of follow through.